A dream is a wish that your heart makes. I'm quoting Cinderella right now, and this week I want to dive into dreams, their meaning, significance, symbolism, and what your subconscious is trying to say through your lived realities whilst dormant. I've always been fascinated by dreams, the meaning of them, what we make of them, how we experience them. And recently, I've been learning a lot about them. And I think it's so incredible that we have the ability to not only undergo these realities that are not in our waking state, but we can also remember them. And I truly believe that these dreams are more than just reminiscing and memories of the day, but rather a deeper, more introspective lens that reflects your internal reality into the form of a dream. So, to start, I wanted to mention that I just learned that when you are dreaming, when you're in REM, which is rapid eye movement state of sleep, your body is actually fully paralyzed in order to enable you to experience a dream. And to just think about that in context for a second, like your entire body is immobilized in order to be able to conceive and have this experience is pretty wild. I was chronically a sleepwalker as a child, and um, I think anyone who's gone through this can understand the disorienting kind of nature of it, where you're being told that you were running downstairs in the middle of the night, or screaming, or trying to leave the house by unlocking the door, and confronting that and having no recollection is something that's quite astounding as a human experience, to be able to not have the wherewithal of where you were. And so that's what makes sleepwalking very, very intriguing to researchers and people who are kind of trying to understand it, because you're supposed to be still. You're not supposed to be um, running around. That's the body's way of keeping you safe whilst dreaming. And it's quite fascinating. So, now a little bit of a dive. I was looking into the spiritual meaning of dreams, and depending on your culture, your religion, your beliefs, your value systems, you may attribute certain things to your dreams, such as divine divine guidance or wisdom, your ancestors trying to communicate with you, a higher entity trying to get in touch with you. And of course that can vary individual to individual. And I think it's really beautiful that there are so many different walks of life, and the thing that is most interesting is the way that certain core themes and symbols seem to ring true. And I'll explain a little bit what I mean. Oftentimes people will describe the same common fears that manifest themselves in a dream, such as a fear of falling, a fear of being injured, or somebody that they love being injured or hurt or harmed in any way, or certain animals, certain colors. And these all have an underlying sentiment to them. When I was younger, I used to have a recurring dream the night before. I used to figure skate. And so the night before a competition, every single time, without a fail, I would have the same recurring dream that I would get onto the ice and my skates would come undone. And this has been something I've had this recurring dream now for years, and I can tell you that in untangling that, it really stems from a feeling of performance anxiety. And so that fear of not being able to perform at a high level and failure ultimately, which is something I think almost ubiquitous and just like constant throughout the human experience is this fear of messing up, not being enough, not being worthy enough, failing, falling. So I thought I would share that in case that resonates for anybody, because it's a really profound thing, the ability to anticipate, which is not that is something that humans experience um, to such a high degree, is this anticipation of the future. You know, most species on Earth of animals are just, they're in the moment. They are living in the moment. They are not worrying about the future. They're not dwelling on the past. It's survival. It's how can I make sure that my needs are met now? But what our dreams are revealing to us is this ability, this wisdom from our innate innermost selves. You know, Freud studied dreams and kind of untangles that there are two parts. There is the manifest reality and the latent reality. So the manifest is going to be the things you're seeing in your dreams. So that's going to be colors, animals, people, situations, events, whatever you're seeing in your dream, whatever you wrote down in your dream journal, that is your manifest. And then the latent is more the level underneath that. So if you remember, like Sigmund Freud, his whole iceberg analogy, that's what's under the iceberg. We're not just looking at the surface level or describing the colors, sights, smells, sounds we're hearing. We're actually taking a deep plunge. And so with my figure skating analogy, that is that the underlying feeling of I'm going to fall and everyone's going to judge me. I'm going to be a failure. Is that inner fear exerting itself and filling up my mind space. And so I really do encourage you to even just keep a log of your dreams or notice what themes are coming up for you. Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of losing someone, something? What are you attached to? It's just so astounding the way that we function and operate, and things that we don't think have seeds planted in the mind truly do come out. And I will leave on one of the quotes that I've been reflecting on for quite some time, and is that there are three things in this universe that you cannot hide, and that is the sun, the moon, and the truth. And the truth always has this way of coming to the surface. Our subconscious minds are showing that. Modern research is showing that. And so, with this in mind, how can you honor your truth more and speak it? And don't be ashamed, because we all have dreams, whether we remember them or not. And vivid dreaming, lucid dreaming, these are all streams of consciousness. Whether or not we're actually conscious, they are ways of energy moving through us and what we think we become. And so dreams ultimately do shape your reality. And I hope that this has been insightful, informative in some way for you, and you can take this and apply it into your day to day and get curious, because your dreams are telling you things. And if you listen, you will hear it.